My name's Nick Best and I'm the Managing Director here at Astranti, and I'm also the person that's recorded over 10 hours of video to help guide you through the management case study exam. And this is a short sample from that programme, something that I hope will be enough to give you some really useful information to guide you in terms of what you need to do to pass this exam. I've been teaching case study exams now for over 10 years and CIMA for over 20 years. And so I bring to bear all that knowledge and experience to really focus you on what it takes to pass. And so here is that little sample. I hope you find these hints and tips useful to help you to pass. What do you need to do to pass? What is it that makes the difference between someone that really is excellent at case study papers and someone who is just okay? There's a base point. And the base point is your strong technical skills. I'm hoping that you're coming into this exam with a good knowledge of the underlying base papers, the E and the F and the P, and that you have probably just passed. Now, it could be that actually, for whatever reason, you've been exempt some papers, some of those earlier papers, or you haven't studied it for a while and you have a break before coming to this, where you will need to go back and look at the theory, get back into the theory and understand the theory, because it is the base of everything that we do. Now, that's your starting point, and I'm hoping for many of you that you're coming in with good, strong technical skills. A warning for you though, just to go back, is people have feedback that we often get at the end of these case study exams is a lot of people say they spent too much time revising the technical side of things. So yes, you need the technical base, absolutely, but the key to passing is, with that technical base, applying it to the exam. And so it's a starting point. It's a very important starting point, but don't overdo it is my warning to you. Okay, do not spend all your time revising your F and your P and your E. Okay, spend your time elsewhere, which I'll talk to you a little bit more about. Okay, because the next key is writing and communication skills. You can understand the technical side brilliantly, but if you cannot get that message across, you will score badly. There is a certain writing style that scores excellent marks. And what I'm going to show you in one of the later videos is exactly what that writing style is. Exactly how you should structure your sentences in order to score good marks. Exactly how to approach that writing. And my experience is that there are people that have got excellent technical knowledge whose only reason for failing is that they can't get that across, or they actually write okay, but they're just writing in the wrong style, and they're often generating far fewer marks than they would be with a really good writing style. And of course, quite a lot of us, because I come from an accounting background, I originally, when I did my degree, came from a science background, and there's quite a few people out there who haven't done a lot of writing for quite a long time. It might be a dissertation at university, or you might be going right back to school before you when you last did sort of essay style answers to exam questions. Quite a few people, if you're working as an accountant in work, you're doing lots of numbers, many people are not doing a huge amount of writing as part of that. And so the writing style therefore is a really key important element of this course. Okay. The key that comes out is that you do need to explain your points fully. Very often people will make a brief point that maybe explains the technical side of things, but doesn't follow it up and analyse that in relation to the business. So fully explained, clear points, clearly made, coherent. You're writing your report or your email to your boss, to a director, to a manager, and the point has to come across clearly, or simply the examiner will not give you a mark for that little section that you're writing. Communication, writing skills then, absolutely crucial. Again, you can possibly see why practicing mock exams becomes important, because it's about practicing that writing style. Okay, so more on writing style as we go through. The next is producing a balanced script. Now, There are 4 criteria on which your script will be graded. The first of these are your technical skills, and you will get marked by your application of the technical skills you've been learning throughout your studies at this level so far. But then you have to apply those skills, and that's where the business skill marks come in. There are also marks available for people skills. Now, people skills marks are about understanding how the issue that you are writing about, perhaps it's that new product, or perhaps it's that new takeover target, or whatever it might be, how that will affect the wide group of stakeholders. How will it affect the shareholders and the staff? How will it affect different suppliers? How are ethical and corporate social responsibility issues, CSR, coming into this as well? And very often people will write something technically good with good analysis, but they've forgotten about the impact on the people and the culture and the business as a whole. And as part of the case study, you are expected, there are marks available for people skills. Finally, leadership skills marks comes in, which is providing good, solid, clear recommendations to the business. And so what's important then is that you are balancing your script. And what we should do in video 2 is we will look at the percentages of each of these different elements and then talk you through exactly what that means in terms of the way you approach the exam. But next key skill then is to balance all 4 of those elements according to the marking scheme. Next thing which is critical to passing is to really know the pre-scene. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. You're supposed to be working in this company. What you needed to have done is a full analysis before the exam. You need to have covered some of your strategic models that you learnt as part of your papers. You may do a Pestel analysis, for instance, or a value chain analysis. Or you may do a SWOT, summarising the strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and threats. And you need to have fully read through, and not just read it through, but applied the models from the different theories to that pre-scene prior to that exam in order that you really understand the business. The better you understand the pre-scene, the better you are able to analyse the specific issues that come up in the exam. So that full analysis, absolutely crucial to you. You need to know the industry broadly that you're operating within. Because, again, good business acumen is about providing advice or guidance or analysis that links in with that particular industry. And so, with that in mind, it's important that you understand some of the things that are happening in the industry. Now, the pre-scene itself gives you a good background to that industry and a little bit of broader research for you in terms of some of the key competitors in the industry, looking at what's happening out there in the market, will give you that knowledge and that broader awareness. Again, actually, after the latest set of exams, we did some feedback from students, and we got over 200 people giving us their feedback on the latest case studies. And there were a number of people in there who came back to us with the view that actually they wish they'd understood a little bit more about the industry, because the exam was very practical, and with that practical base, that broad industry knowledge would have helped them. And so you don't need a huge amount of industry knowledge. In fact, CIMA themselves say you don't really need to know anything other than just simply what's in the pre-scene. But certainly our experience is that a bit more broader knowledge can help you on the day of the exam to provide good, solid business analysis and good, solid business advice. Okay, so I'm going to stop that sample just there. I hope you found those tips useful. Those tips are a small part of 10 hours or so of video that I've recorded on how to pass the management case study exam. Those 10 hours of video are all part of the whole course, and you can just buy the videos themselves, or you can buy the course as a whole, which includes mock exams, very detailed industry analysis. We've got a very detailed pack on ethics and how to pass that as well. We've got live masterclasses for you to join in, ask your questions, discuss with students, online forums where you can ask questions constantly as you're going through preparing and so on. Our course is our best product that really focuses you on passing. But of course, it could just be that you want the tuition guidance. That is, of course, a lot cheaper as well. So that might be what is necessary for you. Or you can just go ahead and prepare for yourself. If you do that, let me please just urge you to practice as many mocks as you can. Please don't just focus on the technical elements, because that's one of the biggest mistakes I see in people that don't go on courses and they don't get a lot of external advice, is they just relearn all the technical stuff from E2, F2 and P2. Please don't do that. Obviously, no, please do that, but please don't make that the majority of what you do. Please do lots of practice. Get your exam technique really honed. Read through the examiner's reports and get to know what it is that the examiner really wants, and then practice that and practice that and practice that as much as you can, either on past exams or even better on mock exams based on your pre-seen. So please do that if you're going to study alone. Whichever way you decide to study, I do wish you the best of luck as you go through the exam process and on the day of the exam itself.